Good day, lovely. Right, good afternoon. Welcome to the latest Monday afternoon where a Zoco member is put under the spotlight, okay? And the format is very simple. So in every industry or profession, there's always a succession of questions that people always get asked, okay? And you know why those people always get asked those questions? Because those are the questions people want to ask, okay? So it's as simple as that. So today we have the wonderful David Goodman, okay? I've known Dave many years. We obviously met networking, obviously, Dave. We met BNI, Fab Networking, and we met, and now you met a proud member Zuka, and brilliant to have you on board. David has said, no, I love the fact, Dave, you have, what is your facial blindness condition called?
Prosagnophobia.
Prosagnophobia, which means that you cannot remember people's faces.
I cannot recognise people by their faces, and it's all on a sliding scale. Everyone's got a little bit of it, but I'm really, really good. And to be excellent, you can't recognise yourself in photos, you can't recognise your family members. Went to meet my son in Such Park at the weekend, and I didn't spot him, went past him, and he said, Dad.
Wow. Right. Well, at least everyone's used to it by now anyway, so that's fascinating.
That's what I tell everyone. That's what I tell everyone.
Exactly, yeah. It's an age thing with me. But anyway, so Dave is a proud utilities warehouse. What's the next word? Utility warehouse
partner.
Yeah, partner. And I'm happily signed with Utility Warehouse, as I said. Interesting enough, actually. So yeah, I've kind of got two properties at the moment. My home, my old home has got gas and electricity, just for lots of reasons. But here I'm with my mum at the moment. She's obviously 86, and for her, fabulous. She loves it. I love it, because obviously now I'm that stage of life when it's down to me to look after bills and stuff. So it's all under one umbrella, including her mobile phone. And for me, a son, it's so we look after. So phone, broadband, gas, electricity, and her mobile phone, all under one bill, and that's fantastic. And she got her UW SIM card, and she has all the light bulbs changed. So as I said, you should know it's all utilities under one bill. So that's fantastic. So how long have you been with Utility Warehouse, Dave?
13 years now. 13 years. A long time.
Who introduced you to it in the first place?
Local Kevin Dodd lives down in Fetcham. He's a financial advisor. He's still doing it. Yeah.
I mean, and these aren't the questions, okay? These aren't the questions. I suppose they are, you know. But I mean, so your other, I mean, what were you doing? What was your main source of income 13 years ago?
I used to run an IT company, and at that time, it was always a case of I'm looking for UK-based companies who give good value for money, and the tech support is awesome. And I went to see Kev because he had problems with his broadband, and basically, it's anything plugged in worked, anything Wi-Fi didn't, probably the router. Rung up, I swapped out the router and thought, yeah, it's a duck router. Right, let's ring your service provider. Who are you with? Utility Warehouse. It's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be through to Atom on Bass or something. Rung up straight through to a Brit and so okay, I'm an IT guy. I've done this, and this. I think it's the router. What are you going to do with it? Well, I'll send you a new router. It's well, that was easy. So, a couple of questions arising. So, how come you got that so easily? I just got through third line tech support. And you can, well, there's only one tech support here. Where's here? North London. Where's the rest of tech support? North London. And why are you using scripts? Because we're trained well enough not to use them. It's like, oh, okay. And I got off a phone call and I said, God, these guys are good. And kept like, oh, yes, Utility Warehouse. I'm a partner. Would you like to join my team? Like, yeah, all right. Oh, people don't usually do that. So then that was it. I was off. And it's just as and when it was appropriate, I signed people up and been doing it ever since.
Well, I mean, as I said, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, there are several utility warehouse partners in Zoco, and I'm sure people know it. But as I said, it's about finding the right person, the right fit. But as I said, I've known Dave many years, and you did supply me a piece of IT kit, which I still use, because in a townhouse on a 3-story, the Wi-Fi wasn't going to the boys' room. So you provide me a little 60 quid bit of kit, stuck it in, bosh, sorted. So that was great.
Awesome.
Right, so let us move back to Utility Warehouse. Okay, wonderful. So again, I love these questions. These are the questions that I ask basically. So so why should we use you instead of a comparison site, Dave?
The reason being is you get the personal touch. So there are things I've come across with other people, and they've just stuck in numbers that they think are the right numbers from their gas and electricity bill. And I've had the things where people have put in numbers and they've dropped out a digit, and the quotes they get back are ridiculously cheap. And of course, the company comes back much later and goes, yeah, now we've got an actual meter reading, have a bill for £1,000. And there's also other things. So I've looked at lots of properties, and I can look at most people's houses and go, your bill should be somewhere around about there. And a lot of the price comparison websites, they use the government average, and they're just nowhere near. Unless you're a little town mouse who wears a great big overcoat and just doesn't have heating in, you're going to use more than that. And there's also, when people present me with a bill and you go, that's a lot of gas or electricity, let's look in and we can find out the reason why. There's also the fact that a lot of people say, well, that's cheapest, but is it best? You know, there's on average one energy company goes bust each month at the moment, and UW's in a very good financial position. It's been going 23 years, so I pretty much trust them to keep going. And is it the right sort of broadband? I mean, I don't like to name names, but there's one particular company out there that says, we can give you 200 megabytes of broadband. And people go, oh, that's amazing. Is that what you really need? You know, I used to be an IT guy. So you just need 5 megabytes of download for each video. So if there's 4 of you living in the house and you each want to watch a video at once, you need 20 meg download. You need 3 meg down and 3 meg up to do a Zoom. So you just look to see what it is you actually need. I try and get people onto the right thing rather than just flogging them stuff they don't need.
Yeah, well, I certainly say so. I closed my business 6 years ago, and I was looking for, you know, different options. And I certainly looked to you, UW. I went to one of your conferences in Slough, I think it was, and I could tell a very impressive company. And all the feedback I hear is the incredible aftercare that partners get. I mean, the support, the back office stuff is second to none. It wasn't the right fit for me, but I know how great as a company tells you to do it. And of course, it wins awards every year, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've got 33 Which Report awards now. We've won recommended phone and broadband 10 years running. The most interesting one is we just won an award for USwitch. We don't even appear on USwitch. The way all the price comparison sites work is that they will actually get commission when you swap, but we won't pay them any commissions, so they don't list us. We still won an award with them.
Oh, so wow.
We must be doing something about it.
Well, right? that's fantastic. Okay, so smart meters. Meters. There's been a lot of talk about smart meters. Some kind of negative I've heard talk about smart meters. So I mean, well, it just says smart meter. Tell me about smart meters, Dave.
Yeah, well, first thing, what is a smart meter? And basically, all it is your gas and electric meter with a baby mobile phone clamped to the side. Once a month, it goes, oh, better wake up, ring HQ, give your meter readings in. You never need to take a meter reading again. I like that for 2 reasons. Number one is the number of times I come across people who don't send in meter readings, and then either you're building up a debt quietly in the background until the meter reader comes and it's sort of like, oh my Lord, what was that? Or they're paying way too much and built up a credit. Either way, I get it in the neck from customers, which I don't enjoy. And there's also the fact that when you move house, then no one's got to take meter readings. There's none of this, well, my meter, I've got one that's just going on and on and on. Someone got confused from the economy 7 meter and someone's put in a total where it's at night. It's just messy. Stops all of that in a moment. The thing about it to save you energy is, I think, it's a nonsense. You get a little display, and most people are sort of like, if I put my heating, I use some gas. Put on the kettle, I use some electric. I mean, okay, I'm gonna chuck it in the drawer. It's quite handy for diagnostics if you are racking up a big bill, but I really recommend them. The reason people got upset is that there were a couple of instances quite a long time ago where they had problems. So there were the meters either didn't work. It can still be the case because they work on a mobile signal. So if they're in the basement, they're still not going to work now. And the main thing is where people are saying, oh, there was a problem with this and it caused problems with my installation. Well, what it usually is the fact that it was a dangerous installation anyway, and the guys come around to change the meter and gone, this is dangerous, and put a prohibition meter on notice on there. But it's very similar to, you take your car in for an MOT, and then the guy goes, I think this is going to fall in half. I think I'll prohibit this car now. And then people mind, well, MOTs are a bad idea. I can't see any problem with them. Can't see any problem with them at all myself.
Yeah. So the actual display, you don't have to have that. It's kind of it's a thing for you to look at the bills. You can bang it in the drawer. You need to have it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I've got it, but it sits in the kitchen drawer. I can turn it on once in a blue moon just to see what it's up to. But our bills come in the same each month, and so that's fine.
I need to organise my mum's smart meter appointment. Came and went. There was a problem, so they've gone away. So we need to organise a smart meter appointment again. Okay, Dave, we need to do that. Okay, so does it really save money? I mean, does it really save money? A utility warehouse?
Yes, no, maybe. Every single one I look at, it's on a case-by-case basis. Have a look, see what people have got. When it works brilliantly. So I work on the average, mum and dad, couple of kids, 3-bedroom semi. I'm going to say people sort of £400 to £1,400 a year. But the first thing I always look at is the phone and the broadband. So everyone's got to have decent phone and broadband. And it happens on a fairly regular basis. People are on Virgin, who run their own network completely separate from anyone else. They've got brilliant service with them, and ours just doesn't get there. So, just stop the conversation at that point. It's not going to work. Another one is BT Sport. You can only get BT Sport through BT, Sky, and Virgin. So, it could be the case of, well, I've got to have that to be able to, okay, well, if the sport's that important, I've actually just had a customer. If they brought everything over to us, it's going to save them 840 quid a year. But they said, no, we're not doing that because I'd lose my BT Sport. And it's sort of like, wow, okay. But if the sport's that important, it's that important. And the other one, there is always going to be someone cheaper than us, because there's always, you never want to be an company. You don't want to be faster or cheaper, because someone's always going to undercut it. And if you're the person that's going to be on there every 6 months looking at price comparison sites, you're probably going to find someone cheaper than us. But our customers just stay year after year after year, because it's a really, really fair price, a really good price. Everything's on one bill. It just keeps it simple. So I just look at it. This is how much I can save you. Is it a good idea? Off you go. If it's not, well, thank you very much for your time. End of story.
Well, two things there. First, you told me in the past that you've been to people and you looked at it and you said, I'm afraid we can't save any money, and we left it at that. And the second one, so there was an energy company went bust last week. Well, one that goes bust every week. So who was it went bust recently?
Oh, there were 3 gone in the last 3 months. I can't remember all the names, but not that it really matters.
I cannot believe a business person thinks, I know what I'll do. I'll set up. I mean, they're basically energy brokers. They're just brokers, aren't they? They buy the energy, and then how anyone thinks they can make money out of being an energy broker is madness. And then, again, if you do your due diligence, you sign up with a tiny energy broker somewhere. I mean, what's going to happen? Of course, you're going to get shafted, aren't you?
Yeah, at some point. I mean, there is one firm out there. I won't mention any names in case there's any lawyers watching. But looking at the company reports, they're getting millions of pounds of funding put into them, but it's costing them £50 per customer per year to run. And it's all right. We've done this for 3 years. How long are you going to keep on making losses of millions a year? It's bizarre.
And what happens to the clients? I mean, the clients, when they do shut down, presumably they shut down quite quickly. What happens to the clients?
There will be a bid from the other suppliers, and someone will go, right, well, we'll take over 1,000 of those customers, we'll take over 3,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 of those customers, and they just go under the umbrella of one of the other bigger companies.
Okay, fascinating. Okay, so let's move on to the. Okay, go on then. Biggest money saving tip. Come on. Do you have any tips to save money and save the planet? I believe, Dave.
Yeah. Well, the best bit of gas or electricity you save is the one you don't use, and the one I find is the biggest for most people is where they got the boiler down here in the garage and the hot water tank's all the way up there, and people just don't even twig how many hours they got their hot water running. And so some people, they just have it running 24 hours a day. So basically your poor boiler is trying to heat up the pipes all the way up to the tank and back down again, trying to keep the whole lot at 80 degrees C. And it's never going to do it. So it just runs and runs and runs. And it just uses a ton of energy. I've just got a new customer, a big old house in Kingswood. And it's a funny old thing. And it has got the boiler in the garage, and the hot water tank is up in the loft, the other side of the house. And so the run of the pipes is huge. And it was set to run I think it was 5 hours in the morning and 5 hours in the evening for the hot water for one nice little old lady on her own. And we set it up so it comes on for 40 minutes in the morning and half an hour at night. And because you've got smart meters, we're already seeing she's using about a quarter less gas by that simple thing. It can be as simple as that.
Yeah, and we'll come back to yours with money saving tips. I mean, yeah, the whole hot water has been, to me, I've owned properties now for 30 odd years. As you saw, it's a mystery to me how hot water works. In my one house, I've got a cold water tap on the top floor, and the boiler is downstairs, and I've no idea how it all works. And same here, we've got a boiler downstairs, and we've got a tank immersion in over there. So it's all a bit of a mystery to me, I must admit. They do that. So is there any other money saving tips, Dave?
Yep. The other one is get yourself over to something like a Tardo, a Nest, or a Hive. Other products are available. And basically, this is a little app that runs a course on your mobile phone. And what it does is it knows where you are and where your family members are in the world. So if you're in the house, it will run to the heating schedule. If it sees you all out of the house, it goes, well, you're not there. There's no point in heating the house. And it will drop the temperature. And it's able to work out roughly where in the world you are. And it knows when you're heading home, and it turns the heating on. So it's nice and toasty.
Impressive.
If you go off on, you remember those days when you used to be able to go on a holiday?
Oh, vaguely.
Yeah, so you get on the plane, go off to La Gomera, and the heating will turn off. 2 weeks later, it comes on as you're landing in Heathrow. It's brilliant. You haven't got to worry about turning it off, and you haven't got to worry about the place cooling off. And the other thing is, it makes the hot water even better. So you go, actually, I'm going to have a shower. So you go into the app and you go, turn the hot water on for 45 minutes, and that's it. It just turns the hot water on then. You haven't got to have the boiler running when it doesn't need to be running. Brilliant. Very
impressive. I've not heard of To Do or Tardo.
Yeah, that's the original one. So that's about 10, 15 years ago. We were early adopters of it. The others are much cleverer. You can't get this one to work on Alexa and Google and all that, but that's the job. All cost about 200 quid. Well worth doing. You save that money easily in a year.
Oh, excellent! Fabulous. I'll look into that. Talk to us about. I know about all the light bulbs, but tell us about the whole light bulbs to LEDs.
Well, it's sad news. Sad news. The offer on light bulbs with us ends in another 2 weeks' time.
Really?
Yeah. We've been doing it for years. We've now replaced over 5 million light bulbs. That's more than 2 gas-fired power stations being on all the time. So it's been a huge thing. But what we're finding is we've got to see about a third of people will say, oh, we can replace all your light bulbs with LEDs. And they go, it's already done. So it's stopped being as valuable as it is.
Gotcha.
We've moved away from that now. We moved away from that.
But if people haven't got LEDs, they need them.
I would suggest it. It knocks about 10 to 15% off your electricity bill. If you haven't got a single one, you replace them all with LEDs. Well worth doing. Okay,
so 2 weeks. 2 weeks for new people that signed up. That's it.
Yep, that's it. Whether it's me or any other UW distributor, go and speak to them now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I appreciate that comment, because I said what I have noticed with UW, you're all the partners. You're very collaborative, very supportive, and I like that. Okay, you're not out to kill each other. In some ways, there's plenty of work to go around, and you always, all the people I know in the network, you reaching out. You all got different skill sets, and so you're all there to help each other, which I think is a fabulous ethos to have in the company, Dave. It really is.
Yeah, well, it is. It's down to personalities. We're saying we've got 5 or 6 in the in Zoco. And it's sort of like, Dave Goodman, he's a bit of a get. I wouldn't deal with him, but there's Alison or Jax or whoever you like the look of.
Yeah. That's nice. Well, I love it, as I said, because it's interesting, because obviously I ran a business for a long time, and the whole attitude, you saw a competitor, you ran away from him or her. You're, oh my God, a competitor, let's run away. Nowadays, we're much more go towards them, let's learn from them, let's see how we can help each other. And I love that grown up, joined up approach to to working. I really do like that. Well done, Dave.
Well, it's also in Zoco, if there's 5 of us there, that's basically gives us 5 pitches. Well, I'll talk about our green credentials. You talk about the fact that we're the cheapest gas metric. You talk about the fact that we've got the cheapest mobile. You talk about the cashback card.
And that leads us neatly onto the cashback card, Dave. Tell us all about the cashback card with UW.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. I think this is the jewel in our crown. In the good old days when I used to run my IT business, I used to work the credit cards really hard, and they used to give us a nice bit of money back. But all by one, they've been faded out, or the actual benefits have been really cut down. We think we have got the best Visa cashback card out there by a long way at the moment. So basically, it's a £5 to take out the cards. You can have 2 on any given account. It costs you £2 a month whether you use the damn things or not. So get out there and use it. And then it's basically just a Visa debit card, which looks just like that. Go and use it in any shops, and any transaction, you're going to get at least 1% back. That's in-store and online, so Amazon, PayPal, any of the shops. And then we've got 50 partners, and they're all little shops you might not have heard of, sort of like Boots, Sainsbury's, M&S, B&Q,
Some of them I've heard of,
Waterstone. Yeah, little shops like that. And you can get up to 7% of spend back there, but you can treble deal. So you're going to get something from Boots. You go to the UW website, click on the link, that will get you 1% back. You then pay with our card, get you 5% back, and you give them your Advantage card, which gives you another 3% back.
Wow.
So it's a nice little learner.
And that money comes off your monthly bill, doesn't it?
Comes off your monthly bill. We're usually giving back about 2 million a year at the moment with this. So that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
I mean, how much roughly do you get back off your bill each month? Do you know?
Yeah, it's £20 to £40. So basically, it pays for our broadband.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
That's throwing the household spending it. So everything we do through the house. Yeah. So about £1,500 a month, something like that through it.
Well, I mean, clearly nothing on hairdressing at the moment, David. So no discount there. So
not quite yet. It's booked 13th of April. 13th of April.
Oh wow. Okay. Again, you got. I mean, there's some couple of personal questions here, Dave, and you sent them to me, so I'm going to ask them. Okay. He says, "Can you really make money at it?"
Yes, you can. You really can. And it's like a lot of the multi-level marketings out there, we've got a really bad rep, and there used to be a lot of roadkill. And in the old days, back in the 90s, it was always about, hey, get a Rolex and get a house and get a speedboat. And it's all like, it's not that. See, I looked at that when I was looking at it going, well, that can't be right, because you start off, you're going to earn a couple of £100 a month. I've got a team of 75, 76, and I think most of them will earn £100, £200 a month at this. And I've got 3 teammates who will bring in over £1,000 a month. I get a couple of grand whether I get out of bed or not. But it's entirely down to how hard you work it. So, I've had really good months. Richard's my top team member. He's got £6,000 in a month out of doing this. Wow. So it does pay. But the thing that's important there is how we pay. So we give you upfront money, but then you get ongoing royalties. And one of the questions I love is, so how much did you get paid in your first month? And the honest answer, I don't know, because they haven't finished paying me yet. In my first month, I signed myself up. I get about £6 a month out of my own gas and electric bill, which is nice. I also signed up a guy called Nick. He's up in Hampstead. He's got a 7-bedroom house. It's a conservation area. He's only allowed single glazed windows made of wood. The house is an absolute money pit. Wow. He gets about £6,000 of gas and electric in a year. And so he came on board with gas and electric, phone and broadband. And as services come on, I've just gone back and spoken to him, and I've signed him and his wife and his 3 kids up for mobiles. They've got our cashback cards, they've got the insurance, they've got the boiler cover, they've got everything with us. And from Nick, I get about £25, £26 a month, every month, and have done for the last 13 years. That's a nice way to earn money. That's a nice way.
Absolutely, and it's something that ultimately we all need. I mean, there's some multi-level marketing out there selling products that necessarily, face creams or whatever, you might not need. But gas, electricity, I'm sat by a radiator, and it doesn't matter who heats my radiator. I want the cheapest, don't I? But we all need it.
Yeah. That's the other thing. I'm going to teach you how to turn the lights on and turn the heating on. You already know how to do that. And it is a direct comparison. So that's what you're paying, and that's what you pay with us. Is that good? come on board.
And the special price, I mean, you know, kind of one of the last questions, the special price is just for the first year, is it? Then you jack up the prices, do you?
No, that's the one thing that really annoys me. And I come across it time after time. So many companies out there will do you a special price for the first year, and then hopefully you're not going to notice, and the price goes up. The great thing about Utility Warehouse, there is one price for every customer. It doesn't matter if you've been with us 1 week, 1 month, 10 years, 20 years. Everyone pays exactly the same price. There's no need to ring up every year and threaten you're going to go and move to someone else, because that's our price. If it's good enough, stick with us. If it's not, thank you very much. And that's the other thing, we make it easy for people to leave as well. And I've just got a customer I've been speaking to, and they around our area, they've just changed to the fibre to the premises, and they've just changed to BT with this. And I think they're going to be paying something like about £70 a month for 2 years. And someone introduced them to me, and that same service with us is 40 quid a month for an 18-month contract. And he was hopping up and down. And to come out of it, he'd have to pay the whole 2 years at 70 quid. With Utility Warehouse, we cap our exit fee at 150 quid. Even after 1 month, you go, I don't like your broadband. It's an 18-month contract. We'll limit it to 150 quid. It's brilliant.
Well, as I said, no, I mean, I've dealt with, you know, but Dave didn't sign me up, but Dave is helping me, and I mean, I've had to call the UK on several occasions, issues with, you know, all kinds of issues, all kinds of things, and the phone is always answered quite quickly. Okay, the 0333 number is on my speed dial. It's always answered quickly, and each time I got upgraded to ultra fast broadband here. And it came through, there was an issue, phoned up, instantly got, you know, an answer. So I've been really, really impressed with you, UW. And I certainly, and the other thing was, so my son was at university, in Bournemouth, and so it's 4 in a house. So I kind of jumped on board, because four 18-year-old boys, I haven't got a brain cell between them. So we got it all under one roof, all under one bill, happy days, got the broadband. And we go to a landline, none of them had any idea what a landline was. So no phone got plugged into it, but they had to have one. So all under one bill, happy days, one bill divided by 4. Even they could manage it. The only bill they had to manage by themselves was a water bill, which they managed to mess up, obviously, okay? All right. But everything else, so for anyone university, Utility Warehouse, and he was in Bournemouth. So, you know, I'm in Hampton, then Bournemouth, it all got done. But we did turn up one day, and there was a man up one of the lampposts, fixing new cable. That was very exciting, that was, I tell you, all for his house. So Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure interviewing you, Dave. And someone did jump on, but I didn't let her in, okay, just because 5 minutes ago it seemed a bit funny letting somebody in. But I really, really appreciate your time, David. I'm going to, so I mean, the thing is, with all the utility partners we have in Zoco, okay, you know, they're like us all. If anyone has any questions, just reach out. Whoever it is, reach out for a chat. Isn't that right, Dave?
Absolutely right, fella. Absolutely right.
Good. Yeah. Right. I will. Right. Well, thank you, Dave. I really, really appreciate that.
Thanks for that, Lee.
Pleasure.